So here's 5 things I learned from the CIPD L&D Show. Number 1, I learned a little bit about the science behind our desire for resources over courses. Charlotte Hills from Lumesse, our very own Charlotte Hills, talked about our desire stemming from the fact that humans are imperfect, and we suffer from this thing called present bias. And what that means is that our brains haven't evolved to think long term. So what we do is think about the comfort, the here and now, at the expense of planning for the future. So an example of this is when I see cake and my survival instinct kicks in. I crave that reward, that immediate reward, and to hell with the consequences. Number 2, understanding your purpose and those of your learners will help you massively as an L&D professional. Steve George from the CIPD talked about human relationships and how understanding someone's purpose was key to unlocking their potential. And that journey can start with your own why or purpose, and really trying to use that journey to help others navigate towards their own personal goals. As an L&D professional, you also understanding a purpose or why will really help you create effective learning, because you're doing it with understanding that you're tapping into a level of motivation which is over and above just performance goals. If you want to learn more about finding your why, then check out Simon Sinek on YouTube. I found it enlightening. Number 3, both Barclays and Virgin Media won at self-directed learning because they properly engage their learners. Gary Spring and John Shurmer from Barclays were able to leverage their internal network and get access to their UX lab, which was used for the Barclays app, and they used that to test and refine their learning solutions. David Chivers from Virgin Media talked about learning from mistakes. He talked about a piece of learning that he delivered out to his engineers and how it could have been done in a much better format. Because when he went and spoke to those engineers, he found out they needed really to take time out of their job to do that piece of learning when they had loads of spare time when they were driving around. Should he have known that from the outset? Possibly. But did he let it get him down? No. What him and his team did was create a series of really successful podcasts. As David put it, the learning was created for the learners, with the learners. Number 4, a lack of time continues to be the number 1 blocker for learning. I heard it in the talks, I heard it in the Q&A sessions, I heard it in the conversations, and there are a number of schools of thought on this. The first one was that until the C-suite recognise that learning and time for learning equals success, we'll never be able to move forward. On the other hand, other people were saying learners need to be in control of their learning. They need to be more self-directed. They need to be doing the learning they need to be successful in their role. For me, I sit on the fence. I'm between the two. Definitely need a bit more of a push down from the top in order to give us a little bit more time, but people do need to take control, do need to be in charge of their own learning. Number 5, the best words of wisdom come from the youngest people. Jilly Julian from Manchester Airport, who did a fantastic presentation on operational training, talked about her 5-year-old son, who said, "It's best when I choose my own learning." Fantastic words of wisdom there, and from a budding self-directed learner. So they're my 5 things that I learned from the CIPD L&D Show.